The Fluoride Conspiracy. Fluoride is a compound found in fluorine and added to public water supplies in order to fight dental cavities. It is added to public water supplies at a rate of 1 part per million, ppm. The fluoridation of the water supply has been a matter of fierce controversy ever since it was mass introduced in the 1950s and 1960s. There's a worldwide consensus by mainstream medical authorities, national and international, that fluoride does provide an effective mechanism to fight dental cavities, and is safe at its current levels. In the USA, 29 of the 30 largest cities have fluoridated water supplies. Portland defeated proposals for the fourth time to add fluoride to the water supply in 2012. Only 3% of Western Europe consume fluoridated water as of 2016. Ethics and legality of fluoride. Libertarian contenders will argue that the government simply has no right to add materials to the public water supply. Fluoridation proponents contend that it is in the interests of public safety to add fluoride to the water, done for the common good. This results in more or less of a standoff between the rights of the individual versus the rights of the majority. However, the rights of the common good is grounded in the fact that fluoride actually does not cause harm and does in fact result in a decrease of dental cavities. Also, there is also no way to regulate how much water a person drinks, so someone who drinks a lot of water may be disadvantaged as he or she may be getting toxic levels of fluoride. And it could be argued unfairly that they should just simply buy bottled water, as this could get very expensive given that water is consumed on a daily basis. It would seem from an objective viewpoint that it would be easier on the whole for fluoride proponents to simply get fluoride from another source, such as toothpaste, than to insert fluoride into every single person's supply of water. Water fluoridation is ranked as beneficial by the Center for Disease Control, the American Medical Association and the American Dental Association. The rationale behind fluoride seems legitimate. In the 1940s, scientists discovered that people who lived near drinking water supplies with levels of fluoride close to or greater than 1 part per million had fewer dental cavities. This has since been backed up with more recent studies. It was found that fluoride can prevent and even reverse tooth decay, mainly by studies conducted by the Center for Disease Control. Fluoride and Cancer. The U.S. National Cancer Institute Toxicological Program has found fluoride to be an equivocal carcinogen. However, the idea that fluoridated water can cause cancer is unfounded. While it was noted that bone tumors in male rats surfaced when given high levels of fluoride, other studies in humans and animals have shown no link between cancer and fluoridated water. The conclusive finding is that there is no association between cancer and fluoride levels. A Center for Disease Control Public Health Service report produced in 1991 reviewed more than 50 epidemiological, population studies and found that there was no cancer risk whatsoever with regard to fluoride levels. One of the studies involved 2.2 million cancer death records in countries with fluoridated water and was unable to establish a link. The Subcommittee on Health Effects of Ingested Fluoride of the National Research Council did an extensive literature review on the relationship and came to the same conclusion as the Public Health Service. While interviews of patients with the cancer in question, osteosarcoma, do allege that fluoride was a factor, this is completely unfounded. There is little argument that fluoridation water does not lead to cancer. However, it is important to bear in mind that while a specific disease was not reproduced in subsequent studies in humans, that does not make it safe. If fluoridation results in any form of severe disease in rats, it is possible that it could have adverse effects on the human organism, which may not manifest in quite the same way. Thus, cancer was found in rats, and not in humans. This does not mean fluoride is harmless. Fluoride is bad. The dangers. It has been argued that only the official statements from medical authorities, mainly the CDC, suggest that fluoride is safe and effective. There is also evidence that the Environmental Protection Agency was itself okay with the resulting funky teeth of children who took fluoride, because funky teeth was deemed a cosmetic issue, and not an issue with serious adverse health effects. An EPA employee came to the National Treasury Employees Union and a court case ensued. What this effectively means is that a union of predominantly scientists within the EPA took a case against the EPA themselves, on the grounds that fluoride was not safe despite public statements made by the organization. The harmful effects of fluoride are well documented. Two epidemiological studies in China have demonstrated that the IQ levels of children actually dropped between 5 to 10 IQ points. These studies were done in the late 1990s. A systematic review reviews all literature on a topic. In the early 90s, Harvard toxicologist Phyllis Mullenix lost her job after conducting research which proved that fluoride in water could lead to lower IQ levels and producing symptoms in rats that closely resembled attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Multiple studies have indicated that it results in increased fractures for the elderly, that it is highly neurotoxic to rats who have a higher resistance to fluoride than humans do, that it is associated with decreased birth rates, that it contaminates commercial feed when given to bovines, has been shown to harm owl reproduction, has severe consequences for fetuses when consumed by pregnant women and leads to allergies and hypersensitivity. Fluoride, Nazis and mind control. A conspiracy theory is not complete without some sort of reference to mind control, Nazis and power. This theory traces its roots to the breakup of Ig Farben after World War II. Ig Farben was a German chemical engineering company with links to the Rockefellers, American banks, and Ford. All assets of Ig Farben in America were held by a holding company, American Ig Farben. Listed on its board of directors was the president of Ford, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, the president of New York Standard Oil, and the director of the Bank of Manhattan. Kellogg's, DuPont and Colgate all signed agreements with Ig Farben to form a cartel, allegedly. Fluoride is absolutely toxic and should not be consumed by anyone. There is a clear and established link between lower IQ and fluoridation levels. A systematic review is the absolute gold standard in science and statistics. It reviews all existing and current studies and draws a conclusion. The sample set is therefore huge, and procedural and methodological errors are by and large eliminated in the underlying studies. Other ill effects have been noted, in animals and humans. Even without all the dangerous health effects, the costly introduction of fluoride to drinking water to battered cavities when it results in funky teeth can only be described as insane. The biggest issue is how on earth fluoride got added to the water on the pretext of fighting cavities, of all things. Such disastrous consequences for such a tiny perceived benefit. Fluoride is not a mind control tool used by them to control us and make us more docile and subservient, as commonly believed by theorists. It is, however, a dangerous chemical which should be removed at once from the water supply.